It's a very special day in the NBA, I say as I just absolutely launched everywhere. But very special day in the NBA as Luka Doncic is making his return back to Dallas. He has previously played against them in LA, however, again, has not been back in the city since the trade. And there is going to be daily, all day long coverage. It's going to be a huge event. And one of the things that kind of came out of that was how the Mavericks tried to make money off of it. I don't want to say make money because they're going to make money from people being there, but like they try to get more money. They try to milk it. Like it's really weird. We're going to cover that. We're also going to talk about the story that ESPN put out, kind of chronicling this whole Luka Doncic stuff. As we've been covering this from head to toe, we've talked a lot about it on the channel, various different fronts. How the Lakers have been benefiting from this, how the Mavericks situation has been, ownership for the Mavericks, all that different stuff. We've covered it all. So make sure you subscribe here to the Basketball Bulletin so you guys will miss any content as we are putting it out. You're not going to miss it. But let's go ahead and dive in. If it wasn't clear already, I'm Donnie, if you're new, co-host of the show. The Dallas Mavericks tried to line up sponsorship deals with a few of Luka Doncic's brand favorites for tonight's game, but Luka's camp rejected the idea. Team sources told ESPN that the Mavs had also lined up lucrative sponsorship deals for Wednesday's game with multiple companies that Doncic endorses. So lucrative and multiple is really sending me there. Like they really tried this. But those deals fell apart after Doncic's camp declined to give its blessing, obviously, pointedly noting that he now plays for the Lakers. It's a little shameless. Like it actually is a little shameless. Like I said, it's a big event. Prodigal son returns. It's gonna be a weird game. Is tonight gonna be like the first game? Maybe it doesn't go this way. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know until it happens. Is tonight gonna be the first game where like the opposing team is cheered all the way through? Like I wonder if something like that's gonna happen. Like this is a very weird, very unique, never before seen. I even dare say, at least in the NBA, as far as I can recall, situation where somebody you had a generational superstar right at 25. Like you still had several years of peak superstar, top 3, top 5 player in the league play out of Luka. And you trade him. He wasn't disgruntled, didn't want to leave, and you just trade him in the middle of the night. It's kind of weird, right? Like I said, we've talked a lot about it, but this is going to be a whole thing, and they tried to really milk it. And unfortunately, or I guess I should say fortunately, or declined because I don't know, he doesn't play there anymore. That's kind of weird. But again, it's a little bit different because he is a former player, right? And all the context I laid out, but it's still not his team. Like it would be one thing if the Lakers were doing that, right? I'm sure he would have given the blessing because he plays for the Lakers. So overall, a very weird situation, but let's get to it. He basically went through and detailed the entire history of Luka earlier, at least the last couple of years of Luka's tenure, and the way that Luka had adopted Dallas as a home away from home, a second home for him, the way that Luka wanted to follow in Dirk's footsteps, and be loyal to the franchise. It's been well documented that Luka had no intentions of leaving. He wanted to be a Maverick. He wasn't going to ask for a trade. Now, who knows if 3-4 years from now he feels the same way, but I'd imagine he probably would have, right? So all of that put together, he kind of detailed all that. And Luka was becoming a Texan, as he says here too, which is pretty interesting. Luka really was comfortable in Dallas. So it's a decision, team sources told ESPN, that probably will cost the franchise 9 figures over the next several years, as the Mavs are projected to lose dozens of millions in revenue this season due to dwindling crowds, plummeting merch sales, and sponsors severing ties with the franchise in the wake of the trade. So that's all very important context, because one thing that's very apparent that you may some people don't know, but most people know, is that a deal of this magnitude, I mean, that's going to literally ripple effect. And then not to mention the way that the fans feel about it, right? The absolute disarray the fandom is in, and the way that their entire team has been getting flamed online since this trade. But the fact is that a trade like this doesn't go down without ownership approval. This might have been ownership's mandate. I mean, it's been also, well, there's been so much documenting from he said, she said, this side, that side, whatever. It's also been documented that apparently Nico may have had a vendetta as well. Nico specifically targeted Anthony Davis. That could also be because the Nike ties. Rob Pelinka worked with Nico back when Kobe was an agent of Nike and Rob's agent, or Rob was his agent, all that stuff. Like, there's so much here. But regardless, this doesn't go down without ownership approval. And you look at the huge ramifications here. This is kind of crazy, right? They're losing dozens of millions in revenue just this season, right? I'll never forget. It's a really old article, so I don't have the exact numbers on me, but I know it was, I think, several hundreds of thousands of dollars, or millions of dollars, several $100 million that it cost the city when LeBron decided to leave Cleveland. It just was a huge economical hit for jobs and all this stuff. And I wonder if something similar happened to Dallas. I do wonder. I haven't seen anything about that aside from just the team, right? But still, this is a lot of money to lose. So this is a very big deal. And it makes me wonder, like, what the end game is here. Is it one of those conspiracy things where, people are saying they're trying to tank the team and move it? Or is it I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. It's not a long-term play, even though there was some miscommunication where the owner thinks it's a long-term move, unless long means different for him. I don't know. Nico specifically said long-term for him is a couple years. So, which is terrible, by the way. You cannot have a GM saying stuff like that. That's insane, right? So it was so bad that they tried to offer limited refunds. Yeah, they were giving out refunds. And then I remember shortly after, didn't they raise the ticket prices again or something like that? Like, it's been a whole thing, bro. The franchise plans to play a tribute video for Luka, providing fans in the arena a final opportunity to savor all the accomplishments in a Mavs uniform and mourn not getting more. Mourn is a terrible. They should not have to mourn. Like, he was just in the finals a few months, before that. Team sources told ESPN that Mavs had also lined up lucrative deals, which were obviously not gone through. Now, as a lot of lifelong Mavs fans are questioning their loyalty to the franchise, Luka returns to Dallas for the first time. His initial appearance as a visitor at the American Airlines Center will be a surreal celebration of Doncic's spectacular 6.5 seasons in a Mavs uniform, marred by agony and bitterness that it didn't last any longer. At the end of the day, the trade has happened, PJ Washington said after a March 16 loss to Philly. One of multiple games in which Dallas had only the league minimum 8 available players. And that's another thing. They just absolutely got cursed. You could argue the curse may have started before that, because, I mean, Luka missed his longest stretch of his career, I believe, at that point. But Luka said he finally took the time he needed to get fully healthy. Like, he said that he's always kind of rushed back, which is admirable, that he was like, this time I'm going to finally get right. But yeah, they were absolutely cursed with injuries for a stretch there. They still mostly are, but they've gotten a good bit of their guys back. So they're pretty healthy too, to be fair. We understand we have a new team now, all that Fire Nico stuff. We're sick and tired of hearing it. We just want to go out there and play, and we need the fans to support us no matter who's on the floor. That's just how I feel about it. And PJ is right? PJ is right. It has nothing to do with the players on the court. It absolutely does not have anything at all to do with the players on the court. But as far as Nico, of course, he's fair game. And unfortunately, fans can only express themselves so many ways. And they're going to go out there and they're going to do the Fire Nico thing. I don't know if they're still doing it. I assume they are. They're absolutely going to do it tonight. Is Nico in the building tonight? He's got to be in the building. There's no way. I saw that he's been in the building, but mostly in tunnels last time I've seen. Like, he's not really been coming out. And he's been around a lot of security too. He's got to make himself ready and available. Rob and him need to be sitting courtside. But yeah, no, in all seriousness, like, fans are going to fan. They're going to express themselves how they can and however they see fit. But again, the players, I saw a lot of fans that didn't want to take it on players initially when this happened. And that was the right mindset. It had nothing to do with these guys. But they just got absolutely railed by injuries. I mean, AD comes out, gets hurt in his first game after like 3 quarters or whatever. Kyrie gets hurt like a week or 2 later. Like, it just absolutely brutal stretch for the Mavs in March. So Harrison made a point to keep the trade talks involving Doncic top secrets for several reasons. One of those was because he didn't want fan backlash to factor in the franchise decision making, which is a hilarious prospect. It tells me you know that you're doing the wrong thing. It tells me it tells me you know what you're doing, and you know you're doing the wrong thing. That part of that was so ridiculous. Like, again, as a Laker fan, I'm happy that this all went down the way it did. They were able to keep it hush hush, but still, I can empathize and acknowledge that this was shady. Like they kept it completely under wraps. If you're gonna trade Luka, you're gonna sell him to the highest bidder, and you may have been able to get a better offer. I have repeatedly said I think that people, when they talk about this, have not put enough value on the players the Lakers sent out, specifically, I don't know, top 75 player AD. But the problem is that AD is 32. So if AD was 25, I don't think anybody would have said anything about this, but he's 32. So, Harrison ultimately convinced Mavs governor Patrick Dumont, the front man for the family that bought the majority shares from Cuban last season, that signing Doncic to a 5-year, $345 Supermax extension this summer would be a poor investment, primarily due to the benefits that the superstar's body would break down because of his perceived lackadaisical approach to conditioning. So right there, that's a scathing paragraph. We already knew that they didn't want to pay him the Supermax. And there had also been reports that they were concerned about his conditioning. That came out immediately, right? They did not want to give it to him because of conditioning. There was also a report around the same time I remember seeing that was expressing concern not only about the conditioning, but the fact he's been playing pro ball for so long. Like, there were concerns about that too. And just they're basically, by doing this trade and by not giving him that extension, they're basically hedging a bet against Luka for the next 5-6 years. Like, they're saying within 5-6 years, he's going to break down, which is crazy, right? I mean, they could be right. Who knows? 5 to 6 years from now, maybe this looks okay, but I can't imagine that happening. It seems pretty far-fetched. And the thing with Luka is that he's never really been in peak. I don't want to say never, but I haven't seen him in the last 3-4 years be in peak athletic condition, right? Even now, he looks like Luka, but he's still got the under chin thing going. He's not like chiseled, right? But that being said, I mean, like the guys were saying, if the guy's out of shape or whatever it is, he's still putting 35-point triple doubles on people's head just in the finals. Well, goddamn, let him be out of shape. So to me, I'm not concerned about this. Like, yeah, it's a thing, right? The conditioning thing is a thing, but I wouldn't use that as a reason to not give him this. I mean, if he's not worth this, then who is? Like, nobody is. Very few players are. Like, seriously, you can count on one hand. If Luka's not worth this, even with the questions that you may or may not have, there basically nobody is. So if we lost any of our fans' trust, it was hard, and I apologize, Dumont said during a bank speaker series, but I hope over time we can regain that trust through hard work, and that's our plan. And hopefully people will believe in the long run that we did what was the right decision. Time will tell. So I'm going to kind of end it there. But yeah, so basically they're making a bet against Luka for the next few years, which is also why they may be okay with the fact that they're losing money now, because it's not going to be a loss. I don't know, a couple hundred, whatever the prorated is on that. I don't know if they're able to give Luka that Supermax, but kind of crazy. But overall, the fact that the Mavs were trying to get some brand deals sorted out for Luka's favorite brands, lucrative deals, I may add, and he's not even their player anymore. It's just very funny. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen that before, but hope you all enjoyed this video here on the Bulletin. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. We'll see you next time.